Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're jumping back into some AE86 stuff. I've got so many things on this that I'm really not happy with that I just want to go over and cut it out and restart it. So, because I don't know what I was thinking all those years ago when I started it, but some things I did a shit job on. So we're going to redo some bits on it. Today I think we're going to get a motor sitting in here. And then I can work out some more, there's some positions of some more things, trans tunnels, etc. Also going to go through what I've done in here. I haven't really run over any of this stuff, so I've put in a tunnel, I guess, for an exhaust because I wanted to run a 4-inch exhaust on this before. But now it's on the wrong side, obviously, because this was going to be SR20, and this is what side the exhaust is on an SR. Now that it's going to be a JZ, I don't know yet how I'm going to do it, but probably get the exhaust from that side to this side. Will have to be a 3-inch exhaust, and then to 4-inch here back, and then it'll be like a diff dump exhaust on it probably. So I'm going to have to finish welding this in. A lot of I don't know what I was thinking when I built it, but so much, like there's still sound deadening in it. I don't know why. I didn't take that out to start with, so I've got to get some of that out. Cut some more out of this area because like where the motor will sit will be back here somewhere. Yeah, so all that needs to come out again, and I'm hoping that I can get away with this, leaving this in, and then obviously welding it in. Back here, I need to redo a heap of these plates. I don't know what I was doing here. That needs to go and fix it properly. These are the like notch chassis rails bits that I put in to clear the S13 IRS. So I've got to do some bracing on that and some bracing on these bottom plates. These bottom plates are the front pickup points for the rear cradle. So I've got to work out what I'm going to do bracing wise there. So they'll get fully welded in, and then I'll re-brace it probably to the side of the car. But this is also where the cage will sit, the main hoop for the cage. So I have to work that out. Up here on these bits, I need to refold them so they overlap and have some strength. You can't have joints where they just butt up to the next bit of metal and weld it. You sort of got to have an overlap, otherwise there's going to be no strength in it. So as you can see, I've got a bit to do. So what this video will involve, I'm not 100% sure, but let's dig in and work out what we're going to do. My original plan for this video was actually going to be doing all the front end on it, mounting all the lights and everything. But I didn't have this corner light, so I'm going to wait until I've got that. I've actually got one on its way. Another corner light and some tail lights and stuff, so I'm probably going to wait to the next video to mount all this up, but all this is going to have to come back out so I can get an engine in it anyway. 2J is in there. All right, so it's not staying in there, but it's sitting in there on a block of wood. Doing this like a level of build, you just, obviously it's not just like putting a S13 together with an SR in it, you know, it's very tedious. There's so many things that you think will work and won't, and there's so many things that you have to try before you even know what to make or where to go from there. And when I'm doing a build like this, if there's an option to buy something or build something, I'm probably going to build it, because I mean, I'm on a budget. It's not like I can just spend whatever money I want sort of thing. So this is going to be a budget build, but you get the idea of what it's going to look like. This turbo isn't staying. That's a very big turbo. I'm just trying to get an idea of positions and stuff. So this motor is very much in the exact same spot as, oh, you can't see it now because I have blocks of wood chop this up. Down here, there's the oil drain for the turbo that I'll tap, and that lines up with the center of the steering shaft on the rack, which is the same position as the Corolla's motor. Like I said, there's so many things to look at, so you just got to take it all in as you're going. I'm going to make some plates to mount the engine mounts off of here. This car, I was actually thinking about mounting the motor to the chassis and then just not leaving anything on the crossmember sort of thing, but I don't think it's going to work, mainly because the steering column is very in the way of everything. But yeah, you can see the engine mounts would go off of these holes and then come out this way. There's a lot of options for these, obviously. I could motor plate it and stuff, but like I said, I'm on a budget, and you know, I can't be bothered doing that. It's too much hassle for what I would get out of it, and it just makes everything else harder. Turbo manifold, alternator mounting, all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to rip that turbo back out so I can show you some more stuff. You can see that that turbo is very big. I think it's like a 77 or something. A GT 4294 eBay turbo. It was going on LS, but now it's, I don't know what's going on with it. It might be going on a barrel or something. So this is the bolt hole that I was talking about. So this will be tapped for the oil drain for the turbo. This is the bolt hole that I was talking about that I've lined up with the center of this. The shaft where it goes into the rack, and yeah, like I said, same position as the Corolla. So I've got this motor sitting here so I can try work out what I want to do engine mount wise, basically. So I'm probably going to do a very similar mount to the Corolla, but I've just got to take into account everything that's going to be in this area before I do anything. So like I said, there's going to be a plate, and then I'm going to, I think I used some steam pipe bends actually on the other car. Have a bit of bent steel, like tube pipe that comes down to here and mounts in this area with a like a nylon sort of thick nylon spacer as an engine mount sort of thing. But I've obviously got to fit a turbo manifold in this side, a turbo, and a dump pipe. And seeing as I plan to make more power with this car, I wouldn't mind fitting a bigger dump pipe in. I don't think I'm going to fit a 4-inch, but maybe I'll get a 3.5-inch. Because I'm not going to run the standard steering column in this too, I can actually shuffle it that way a little bit. This is just a temporary bolted in column for now, but I'm not restricted to where it comes through here, and it's a little less bulky having it just as like a single shaft. So engine mount somewhere here to there. Turbo drain will come out and up in this direction. This motor will also have the alternator relocated to that side, same as the other car. But yeah, like I said, so turbo in this sort of position up here. And then I haven't worked out if I'm going single or twin gates on it, because obviously, same as that car, I'll just go over here and look at it. The problem is, sorry about the wind, the problem is where it all goes sort of thing. As you can see, there's a lot going on in this car, and the other car is not going to be any better, the A86, because it's going to have a bigger turbo in it. So I'm debating whether I go a single wastegate then because this is actually a twin scroll housing, so I'd go back to like a normal turbo housing, not a twin scroll, just to run a single gate and just go a bigger gate because it's got twin 40s on it. So I could go like a 50 or a 60 single on the other car. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think I would lose much like boost control or response probably from it being a light car and still being a 3 litre, so it's not obviously not going to be a 1J. But everything else in here to take into account is height of the motor. So this motor actually still has to come up about 10 mil, I think. And you can see there that it's very tight underneath there. So I don't want to cut into the wiper like channel section thingy there. Ideally, if I can get away with it. So I might actually have to either notch these valve covers like I did in the Corolla, or I doubt it, but cash out and get billet ones where they're like a really slim cover. So I'm not too sure there, but also you've seen before, I don't have a gearbox here yet because I can't find one at the moment. I'm still looking for a TR6060 and I'm not paying $3.5 or $4 grand for a second-hand one. So I'm still looking for a gearbox for it. So the TR6060 with the like mid-mount shifter position in it is 500 mil from the front of the bell housing back. So it actually takes it to just there, roughly. So that's a pretty good shifter position. The gearbox is obviously a lot longer. So I'd have to obviously chop this tunnel out. I'm going to completely chop it out anyway. Because it's going to run so low, it's probably going to have spots where it doesn't work the best. Gearbox will come back to about here. And you can see there where the diff mounts, the front of the diff sits here somewhere. So it's going to be a very short tail shaft. I think the one in the Corolla is only 800 mil long, I think. So, but yeah, we're making progress. So one thing I'm definitely going to do in this car is make a better access for that number 6 and number 5 spark plugs. Don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but it's going to happen. Got some dry ice here to get rid of some sound deadening out of this car. So we're going to get rid of all that. Oh, there's a little bit left on that side and there's a lot left on this side so that I can start doing some welding in here. You can already hear it cracking off the floor. If you haven't used dry ice before to get sound deadening off, you're missing out. So easy. Normally you'd just leave it in like a plastic bag or something and move it around, but I've got oodles of it, so I'm not too fussed about wasting a little bit. Oh, so good. So easy. Oh, look at that. The best ever. Oh, just so satisfying. Oof. I didn't film any of this because this is just time-consuming stuff that doesn't need to be filmed. Probably spend 3 hours doing this, and it's not that important to see probably. But so I made some templates for engine mounts on the block, and then just cut them out of some steel I had lying around. Pretty much everything is just offcuts of like stuff that I've had before or whatever. So this is the other end of an engine mount. I will weld that onto there. There's some headlight brackets, so I can start mounting them up. So let's see if this will fit. So I've also just bent up some 90-degree brackets with a 12mm hole tapped in it, and then just a spacer to go underneath. Eventually that will go onto there, and then I'll just make something to go from here to there basically. Same on that side, so I've got that plate and that mount there. Weld on these bad boys. Okay, so I'm kind of back to a point now where I can't progress too much more until I get a few more things. I was going to tack up some engine mounts, but I've decided against it. So like I just welded up the bases for the engine mounts there. But now I've taken a few measurements, and now that I've tacked some lights in level with the bonnet and where everything should be, I've noticed that you can definitely see how bent everything is. So I definitely got to get this strut tower pulled before I can go too much further with making any mounts or anything in here. But I have got just that temporary turbo just mounted there to get an idea of how much room and everything I'm going to get. So it looks quite large sitting in there. But if you look down here, so I've mounted the headlights level with the bonnet and everything, and this radiator support that I've put in, I've got the same length uprights in it. And you can see how far out it is. So this strut tower here is about 15mm too high. You can pretty well see it if you look here. So that strut tower actually has to get pulled this way, so like down and forwards, as well as the like bottom of the chassis rail sort of thing. Because if you look down here as well, this bar is not straight, but it's magnified here, that you can see this corner's too high. I'm going to cut all that stuff off anyway and redo it, probably. I'll cut it through there, and then pull that this direction, and then yeah, that should all be good. Then I can start fabbing some of this stuff up for it to stay in place. With all the sound deadening out, it actually looks a lot cleaner in here, so I'm going to go through and clean up some of the, like that's a bit like rusty and stuff. I'll just run over it with a wire wheel and whatnot. Until I've got a gearbox, I can't do too much more in here. I'm probably still going to weld this in. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for tuning in again. I was kind of hoping to progress a little more in this video, but doing lots of time consuming stuff, it's stuff that you can't really just put on a video, otherwise it's too boring. So but we've got a pretty rough idea of how everything's going to sit, and hopefully I can find a gearbox in the next couple of weeks so we can progress a bit more on that. I'm going to order like some flanges, so head flange, and work out turbo housings on which turbo I'm going to run. So part of me kind of wants to run the same turbo as the Corolla. So I've got the same parts between the two cars, but then obviously I'm going away from the 1.5JZ in that car to a 2JZ head in this car. So it may, you know, is there any point in having the same spares? The turbo manifold is going to be different. I could, you know, 1.5JZ this, run the same turbo manifold, turbo gates, everything, and then it would just be the same between the two cars, which would probably make sense, but I kind of want it to be different. So I need to come up with something crazy for the turbo manifold so it really stands out. But yeah, see how we go. So, but yeah, like I said, thanks for watching, guys. If you want to stay up to date with everything, with the Sprinter, with the Corollas, everything, got a cool new video coming out probably next week, something different. Hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next video.